Hi everyone. It's still a little while until spring. The Monza GP will bring it to life in all its colors. It is like the overture to a great symphony. Ignition on, and not only the conductor's display lights up in the most glorious colors. Rebuffini's fittings are also brightly colored from the flanks, as if they wanted to strike their own chords. Euphony is also possible in color. We'll soon be driving again on a summer night, when we don't want to have to feel for the switch for the main beam. Can't you always have these illuminated fittings? You can't. We're not just standing in front of a Harley, we're standing in front of a Thunderbike, a model from the precious GP series, and this time it's called GP-Monza. We have been building Grand Prix bikes for some time, once within the model ranges of our exclusive small series. Since 2018, we have been offering the GP based on the original Milwaukee-Eight chassis. And we already presented our latest projectile based on the BREAKOUT at the Custom Bike Show in December. Now you can see it here in full detail. So stay seated and hold on tight. You'll notice it at first glance, this time, Cruiser Design has given it a glossy finish. This is rare for our GPs. But this is just the beginning. Naturally, the Monza rolls on our large GP wheels, 23 inches at the front and 21 inches at the rear. They are monoblock wheels, milled from the solid, designed in bicolor. The GPs also have to meet our high driving physics requirements. With a width of 260 mm, the rear tire is almost modest in size, but this ensures directional stability because the widths at the front and rear are not too far apart. Wider would certainly have been better for show, but the Monza delivers enough show as it is. The 21-inch rear wheel is mounted in a single-sided swing arm. This is actually a technical solution from racing to facilitate quick tire changes. But it also looks impressive, especially with the large format perimeter brake on the left-hand side. We have also found a solution to match the extravagant tire format to a functioning ABS, as we were able to relocate the encoder sensors from the wheel bearing to the hub. And, of course, we also gave our Monza an adjustable chassis. It can be raised and lowered on command. No, not with air ride this time, because that could stamp under the acceleration pressure. That's why we installed a hydraulic solution. This was necessary because we also gave the 117 engine more pressure with a suitable tuning. Not so much in terms of power at the end of the flagpole, by the way, but in favor of more aggressive torque from below. Even the tank has been given its own design, of course, including the one from our GP series. Because of the components for the injection system in the series tank modifications of this size are no longer common today. But we can do that too. The front end has been completely renovated, all by us, triple clamps milled from solid material, our own stanchions with attached GP handlebar halves, our own dip tubes with mounts for the brake calipers of the huge 340mm discs. The fork can be retuned from traffic light to traffic light, because our GPs are always based on drag racing. Every start has to offer our customers the experience of a new sprint. So much for the knockout facts. We want to give you at least a brief look at the rear and front spoiler. You'll be looking for screws there for nothing. Both are neatly welded in the service of a clean look. These two parts are not store items and are not listed in our parts list. Instead, we have linked the comparable bolt-on parts. We told you, just waking up the ignition of our GP Monza makes a symphony resound. Our GP silencers will tell you what it sounds like in every movement. Their sound also has a color. With the name Bruce Wayne aka Batman, the inventors thought of something. It is a combination of the Scottish freedom fighter Robert Bruce and the American national hero Mad Anthony Wayne. And the Bat-style BREAKOUT is also a metaphorical freedom fighter, just like any Harley. Batman's famous Batmobile is all black, but it's a different story with this fancy two-wheeler. The most striking thing about the bike is probably the cool paint design by Ingo Kreuzer, who perfectly implemented the customer's request. The bat on the tank looks like it's on fire, or is it Gotham City's skyline after all? The sharp-edged transition from red to black, which can be seen on all the paint parts, looks like a cutout from the wing. On the red surface, the sharp edges are accentuated by silver outlines, and so that the black doesn't just stay black, honeycomb patterns with a gradient are still painted here. A bullseye. The Breakout offers a nice interplay of chrome and black right from the factory. A good example of this are the cast wheels, which create a kind of visual movement by changing the color of the spokes from black to chrome. With our tight fenders and pulley brake kit, the wheels look bigger and you have a clear view of the design. The heart of the Breakout also remains in its original state in shiny chrome. Matching end caps from Jekyll and Hyde are also available in chrome. The front end matches the movie title Dark Knight Rises, the fork is black DLC coated, headlamp cap and handlebars are black powder coated. The flip gives the rider a raised riding position and allows him to look down on the road. The pre-mounted footrest system in the drilled design, on the subject you could also speak of bullet holes, is also a guarantee for an optimal rider position. A secret weapon must still be mentioned, the Spirit leather seat with modified honeycomb pattern, the interplay of smooth and nubuck leather and the milled Batman logo. FXDR front on Breakout body. It's a powerful punch that our Viking punch lands. The FXDR was something of a muscle bike fighter in Harley's model range. Strangely, it didn't have a fighting name, it was born with just the combination of its 4 letters. And because it had the 114 cubic inches engine, the largest engine at the time, it was enough to name these 4 letters to gain the respect of all Harley bikers. However, it was only built for a short time until 2021. No wonder, because in the meantime the 117 cubic inches engine and 103 horses has taken the lead in the Milwaukee-Eight series, only surpassed by the new 121 cubic inches CVOs, but they are currently in a completely different league. But while the FXGR was already equipped with an upside-down fork, the long-running Breakout still has a classic telescopic fork. As a muscle bike fighter, the FXDR could already be defined as a hybrid. And because mixed blood makes things interesting, we topped off our composition with an FXDR headlamp cap. The layout of the Viking punch is indeed somewhat unusual. At the customer's request, we have combined the elongated frame of the Breakout with the sporty upside-down fork of the FXDR. This does not immediately turn the Breakout into a cornering predator, but it is more agile to control. The upside-down fork reduces the unsprung masses, which means that it reacts more sensitively to steering movements. And in this combination, the bike will also respond more quickly to deceleration requests. With the FXDR fork, it also has 2 disc brakes at the front. Of course, that's not all. Of course, our customer also wanted big wheels in his dream bike. We turned the original Breakout dimensions into an impressive 23 inches at the front and 21 inches at the rear. We are particularly pleased that we were once again able to unpack our Vegas drilled, a super cool 5-spoke wheel design that is a real eye-catcher thanks to the 4 bicolor cut holes per spoke. Incidentally, we have continued the design in the lids and covers on the engine and clutch so that the appearance remains consistent. The welded-on steel fender and the front spoiler also fit together in one piece in the literal sense. The smooth 15 liters aluminium stretch tank in subtle cruiser paint makes the bike look even flatter. We don't really need to say anything more about the single-sided swing arm kit with perimeter brake. It simply belongs to a bike that rolls along on a big foot. Technically, it remains fascinating, and the show effect is guaranteed. we could call what we have put together for this bike a composition. It offers appealing equipment, which is interesting for connoisseurs that know about their bikes. But the driving spirit of the FXDR and the powerful 117cc engine of the new BREAKOUT demand a more powerful name. That's why we think it's a powerful punch that we're sending out the name Viking Punch into the world from the north of the Lower Rhine. We've spruced them up and made them more useful. When Harley unveiled the models for this vintage in the winter, the new CVOs and specials like the Fast Johnny were not yet known, and the new big thing was the new BREAKOUT with the 117 cubic inches engine. The previous year's ST models already had it. The Road Glide, Street Glide and Lowrider ST were real track burners, capable of putting the miles on with confidence. They also had plenty of room for luggage. With its new 117 cubic inches engine, the BREAKOUT was now a track burner too. But where to put the luggage? We solved the problem without detracting from the BREAKOUT's showmanship. Not only is everything variable, it's also removable. We offer 3 components in total. The Hold-Fast Sissy Bar, the S-Bag kit with removable bags that don't have the obtrusive charm of luggage because of their cover, and then there's the old-school triangular Ledry Solo side bag. Designed to fit the triangular shape of the Softail swing arm, the Ledry Solo is the perfect solution if you have side-mounted number plates. With our BREAKOUT, anything is possible: a confident arrival with an extremely long and low body, a confident start with a supercharged 117 engine, and a confident arrival with more than a toothbrush and Leatherman in your luggage. Oh, and because the engine doesn't rev past 190 km/h, you'll probably only be seen from behind. Of course, the first impression has to be right. We now have a pulley brake system for the wider swing arm of the BREAKOUT. The new system not only makes the brake disc disappear, revealing the wheels, which are already spectacular as standard. They are worth showing off in their entirety. We've also fitted a 260 tyre to the original rear wheel. All in all, it should make for some serious overtaking. Many other details and a subtle mica lilac finish by Ingo Cruiser make the BREAKOUT no less impressive when it's standing. See for yourself, we present it here in all its variations. Skulls can be so sweet. We built the burning skull for a woman, but men will probably melt in front of it, too. You might have expected pink when we announced a custom bike for a lady. Not at all. Just try to count the skulls hidden in the paint. And then there are some Willie G skulls on our covers. We have found some interesting solutions for the BREAKOUT. Next year's BREAKOUT will have a larger tank, following criticism from some customers. But we also have one for the 22 BREAKOUT, in a stretched version with a capacity of 15 litres. After all, the skull on the tank gives a friendly greeting when its bony hands come together to form the shape of a heart. In the Thunder talk about the burning skull, this led us to decide that the skulls were cute. The line is already sleeker. It continues with our torque handlebars, which we placed on our flat risers. Customized for the lady, we also recommended finishing it off with our headlight cap at the front. Behind the tank we continued the line with the steel seat shell and a custom padded saddle. The ensemble is rounded off with our steel fender, which has no struts at all and integrates the tail light and turn signals so that they are barely visible thanks to LED technology. We kept the original wheels, but put the wider 260 rubber over the rear tire. The fenders and tires fit perfectly. This is also due to the air ride, which is the push-button lowered rear that we gave to the burning skull. The neat finish of the rear wheel is even more due to our pulley brake system, whose disc, hocus pocus, has disappeared from the right to the left side between the wheel and the pulley. Without struts and with our left license plate holder, A tidier rear end for the right side would hardly be possible. With our breakout front fender and especially with a black DLC coating on the lowered fork stanchions, diamond-like carbon, a rather expensive but perfect surface finish that makes the chrome disappear, but only works on brand new tubes. If that is the case, then you have to decide in favor of such a finish when you buy a new Harley. Other blackening treatments are only possible with covers and bellows. We have them too, but they are a bit thicker. We continue to put lean management at the center of the action. The protruding trunk of the Elite air filter on the new Breakout isn't for everyone. With our Grand Classic air cleaner, we shorten the distance from the saddle to the footrests. This also works for the latest generation Breakout. For the burning skull, it was necessary anyway as part of the rider fit adjustment. She now has direct access to the satin foot pegs, which come from the same line as our handlebar grips, with the stripe turn signals hidden underneath. So the whole thing is only cute to a point. You may have noticed our shortened manifolds and compact mufflers. After starting the engine, when the short guys from Jekyll and Hyde start to roar, the sweetness is joined by the right flavor. The warmly welcoming skull gets serious and the ride on the burning skull becomes a feast for all the senses. We resaddle a faithful companion and do it good. Anyone who gets on a 114 after riding a 117 will realize that the 114, with its 95 lively little horses, is still no lame horse. So our customer still has his 114 Breakout. And so, after a few years, he wanted to do it some good and resaddle it. It's not just the new saddle from our steel line that harmonizes so beautifully with the steel fender. With no struts, a single piece and integrated LED indicators, we have adapted the fender to the dimensions of the new 260 rubber. The side license plate and a clean inside plate reveal the fresh black cells. For the fork, we have introduced a DLC coating, diamond-like carbon, probably the highest quality fork coating on the market. It makes the chrome of the stanchion tube disappear. The headlamp cap gives the Dark Horse its character, the torque handlebar keep it in check, the satin finish grips feel better than any reins and the striped indicators are almost invisible. Little goodies like clutch and ignition covers from our drilled range in two-tone finish the look. The old Breakout has become a lively stallion again. After careful grooming with the only paint that always works, he now goes by the name of Dark Horse. At least when we have the Jekyll and Hyde on silent. Before the first ride in the new saddle, there is one small button to press. We haven't just lowered the front fork. The Dark Horse has also been fitted with an air ride from our company. So the Dark Horse sinks down like a well-trained stallion before we give it the spares. Thanks for watching.